local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 at 6:30.
A chase across the Alabama-Florida state line. We now know the suspect led officers on more than one chase this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Cherish Lombard.
And I'm Roseanne Haven. First on 5, a News 5 update. We are learning new information tonight about a man who led agencies on a chase from Baldwin County into Escambia County, Florida. Robert Henry had warrants for sexual battery on a child.
He reportedly crashed into 2 vehicles last night before he was arrested. As News 5's Cody Long tells us, Henry was captured after a second high-speed chase.
Last night was the second of 2 high-speed chases. The first one was Wednesday. Escambia County deputies were after the suspect here on Brent Lane. He was headed west going 90 miles an hour, and he eventually got away from the deputies. Then last night, this is one of 2 vehicles Robert Henry crashed into outside of the Dollar General at Lillian Highway and Bower Road. That chase started when Henry rammed into Baldwin County Sheriff's vehicles and took off toward Florida. Several agencies, including U.S. Marshals, were involved, and according to the arrest report, Henry resisted and he had to be tased to get him in handcuffs. During the first chase, witnesses in the car with the suspect said he ran because he was, quote, scared and wanted to prove his innocence. He is now charged with resisting and fleeing police and sexual battery and molestation of someone under the age of 12. He is in the Escambia County Jail right now with no bond. Reporting in Pensacola, Cody Long, WKRG News 5.
Everyone with our News 5 app found out about this update first. You can be the first to learn about updates just like this. When you download that app, it is free for Apple and Android devices. A man is fighting for his life after he was shot, then hit by a car in West Mobile early this morning. First responders tell us the man was shot multiple times on Cottage Hill Road near University Boulevard around 12:30. Cottage Hill Road was shut down for a while. Now, police say the victim was driving when he was shot, causing him to crash his car. Then he got out and he was walking in the road when he was hit by a passing vehicle. He was rushed to an area hospital and at last check is listed in critical condition. Police are now looking for the shooter.
Noon tonight at 6:30, a massive Ukrainian cargo plane landing at Brookley Aeroplex turned heads this morning. The company it belongs to says it's the largest cargo plane in the world. News 5's Dana Winter joins us from the Aeroplex to give us a look.
Well, I found it. This plane you see behind me is Antonov Airlines AN-124 cargo plane. These are pictures sent to us by viewers of the Ukrainian plane. While the company says it does make a larger plane, the AN-225, which is based on the AN-124, this is not it. Antonov Airlines says this model of plane was originally designed as a military transporter. Its size and features have helped keep it at the forefront for outsized and heavy air cargo for nearly 3 decades. The company tells News 5 the plane here at Brookley is either picking up or dropping off cargo. Reporting in downtown Mobile tonight, I'm Dana Winter for WKRG News 5.
High heat and for some strong storms tonight.
Definitely. And Ed, another day of 98 degrees in Mobile.
It's incredible. We've done that now twice in the last 2 days here. Pensacola also setting a new daily record. And with so much heat and deeper moisture in place, that has led to some fairly robust thunderstorms this afternoon. You could see the radar lighting up, certainly more than we've seen in recent days. This thunderstorm, which was severe a few minutes ago, has now fallen below severe limits, but still some heavy rain out of Escambia County, Alabama, and also in Florida. And that's now actually moving into extreme eastern portions of Baldwin County near Perdido. Atmore getting wet, heading down towards the Pineville area. And we've seen some good amount of lightning associated with this as well. I'm watching this storm north of Crestview. It looks to be actually intensifying a little bit, so may get some gusty winds, maybe even some brief small hail there heading into Crestview right now. Additional thunderstorms are now exiting our viewing area, and as we go into the evening, it's all about high school football. Can't rule out a stray shower early on in Daphne at 83 for the game. Flomaton and Bayside. Spanish Fort and St. Paul is 82 degrees at kickoff with a small rain chance. And in Pensacola, we've got Augusta Academy and Pensacola Catholic. Southwest winds and a small rain chance at kickoff with temps in the mid-80s. Weekend forecast a few minutes away.
Thanks, Ed. Now, even though we have the fever for Friday night football here at News 5, we are hoping things continue to cool down for the players tonight. News 5's Robbie Baker is at St. Paul's with a preview of our Mobile Game of the Week.
Welcome back out here to E.E. Delaney Stadium, our Mobile Game of the Week, a battle in 6A Region 1, two undefeated teams in the region, the Saints and the Toros of Spanish Fort. We got a good one on our hands here tonight. You see the pink. I'm wearing my pink. It's pink all over the place here for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll talk about that more in a second. For now, it's 6:30. It's time for Baker's Winning Recipe. Let's give you the keys to victory. We'll start with the Toros, since that is the team you are looking at. They need to feed Chris Abrams-Drain. He's one of the best players in the state. He takes snaps all over the field on offense, sometimes at quarterback as well. They need to have him have a big game tonight if they want to win on the road. It's kind of hard to figure out what the Spanish Fort team is because they got off to a shaky start. You know, the 30-point loss to McGill. They had a 35-7 loss to Daphne in week 2 that turned into a win because Daphne had to forfeit the game. Since then, the Toros have beat BC Rain and Robertsdale, and we'll see what they're really made of tonight as they play a very good St. Paul's team. And for that home team, St. Paul's, well, they need to have a big game by sticking to their game, if you will. What I mean from that is that they need to run the ball, get Jordan Ingram going, get the play-action passing game going with Jay Green. They don't need to worry about what Spanish Fort is doing because this Toros team looks a lot different than they did earlier in the year. If the St. Paul Saints can control the clock, play that ball control offense, they will get a 6A Region 1 win tonight. Now you saw the pink banner on the ribbon on the end zone. I'm wearing my pink. The cheerleaders are in pink tonight, all for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you send me your pink apparel and pink accessories from your games tonight, send your pictures to my Facebook and Twitter. We'll get those on Friday Night Football Fever. For now, though, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, a bit loud out there. Thanks, Robbie. President Donald Trump acknowledged Democrats in the House have the votes to begin a formal impeachment inquiry. But once it gets to the Senate, he says he'll win. Republican Congressman Bradley Byrne weighed in on the impeachment process earlier today. News 5's Debbie Williams has that story on the Baldwin County beat.
Speaking to civic groups across Baldwin County today, Congressman Byrne called the impeachment inquiry totally illegitimate and says that folks in Washington have bigger issues to tackle rather than trying to impeach the president. President Trump believes impeachment proceedings in the House will backfire on Democrats. He has sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi formally objecting to the inquiry. Congressman Bradley Byrne supports President Trump's efforts. He says the Justice Department has completed its review and concluded there is no crime. So Byrne asked, what are we doing?
The people around the country are looking at it and saying, we've got stuff we expect for you to do about the cost of health care. We've got concerns about what's going on down the border. Things overseas are very troubling, like what Iran did to Saudi Arabia. And while we're dealing with this impeachment flavor of the week, we're not doing that work.
The president's letter to Speaker Pelosi says the White House will not cooperate with the probe. On the Baldwin County beat, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
Tens of thousands of old school motorcycles are racing through Alabama this weekend. The 15th annual Barber Vintage Motorcycle Festival is going on in Birmingham, featuring vintage motorcycle races, a fan zone, and a massive swap meet.
Hundreds of bikes from all walks of life. The bikes you can't see out on the streets every day, bikes you can't see in showrooms every day, and see the riders, talk to the riders. So it's a really cool experience all the way around. A lot to do. You can spend 3 days here and still not do it all.
There will also be an auction where one vintage bike is expected to go for $500,000. You can get the full event schedule as well as ticket information on the Biker Dad blog on WKRG.com. If you're still hoping to catch some red snapper this season, you have 2 more days to do it in Alabama. We'll tell you about additional fishing days.
Plus, the Hound Dog Music Fest is gearing up for a big weekend in Baldwin County when you can enjoy the fun while helping a great cause at the same time.
Breast cancer. Hearing those 2 words can change your life dramatically, but there is hope. Here's stories from women and men who've gone from breast cancer patient to survivor. Special coverage all day Thursday.
Watching WKRG News 5, local coverage you can count on with Roseanne Haven, Cherish Lombard, Chief Meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth, and Randy Patrick Sports. This is WKRG News 5 at 6:30.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for watching tonight. Snapper fishermen can keep their boats out on the water a little while longer this year. Extra red snapper fishing days were added in Alabama, and they're happening now. Officials at the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources added a 3-day season for red snapper on October 4th, today, 5th, and 6th. The limit is 2 fish per person with the minimum length of 16 inches. The